Hey guys, Ben Labadie here, and I'm with Don Fuoco, candidate for council here in Ward 6, Chatham, Kent. And we're going to have a great conversation today and get to know Don, what he's about, who he is, and what his plans are if elected. So what I'd like you to do is come on in, ask questions, engage, even if it's just to say hello. If you're watching on the replay, which most people do, then all you have to do is comment, and Don, you'll get back to them and comment and stuff after.
Absolutely, for sure.
To engage. So, and also what we're going to be doing is giving away 3 gift cards. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, hey Lauren, and hi Christina. So don't be scared to say hello. Make sure you do that. And first, before Don goes into who he is and I ask him questions like that, I want you to tell us what these are, these gift cards that we'll be giving away. And to get the gift cards, all you have to do is make sure that you've commented or said something or even hit a thumbs up so we can see. And wow, we got a lot of people already. So Don, do you want to tell us?
Sure,
what's going on? What do you got?
So again, this is just to encourage involvement. So and see what's going on with the upcoming municipal election. So I have 3 $25 gift cards, and as Ben said, what I will need you to do is make sure you either let us know you're there so we see your name, because what's going to happen after we're done our talk is I'm going to have Ben scroll through the list of all the people that have indicated they've been on, and what I will do is make sure that I'll say stop, and whoever's name happens to be at the bottom of the list, that they are going to win the $25 gift cards. So let me just let you know what gift cards we're talking about. So first one is from Crockadoodle.
Let's put that up on the screen
sure,
so
absolutely.
people can see it.
So there's the Crockadoodle, and then so that is my actually a family member who's actually have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family. So so that is for $25 gift card from Crockadoodle.
Is that where they stuff the animals for the kids?
No, that's something different. This is where they actually do pottery.
Pottery,
so,
okay.
And it's a great family opportunity to get together as family and do some painting, and it's a great local business.
Because my daughter always wants to do that. My daughter's 8, and she always talks about both of the places and that. And,
there you go, and that's
yeah.
a perfect place to go spend some time with some family.
Awesome.
And next one is from Scoops. Again, a brother-in-law who is an entrepreneur. He actually owns another company, but this is where you can get some really great ice cream. He has many different flavors, and they're usually open till 10 o'clock. Make sure you go and give him some business there.
$25 in ice cream. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, for sure. And last place, this is not one of my entrepreneurs, family members, but this is Mr. Shim. Don't know if anyone knows Mr. Shim, but he owns Korean Fusion on St. Clair Street. It's actually great food if you like Korean food. And it's a $25 gift card for that. And how I got to know Mr. Shim is I tried to learn how to say hello and thank you in many people's languages. And when I met him, I said how you say hello, thank you is 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다. And I was able to engage in friendship with him over a long period of time. And he recently opened this business, so it's just to give him some support as a local entrepreneur.
Now, can I comment in there after? Because I'd like to win this myself. Korean Fusion. So 3 gift cards here.
Exactly. And before we move on to that, I do have something for you, Ben. Okay?
All right.
So, as seems to be the tradition.
I'm not scared of gifts.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to give you, I think someone had mentioned, wonder who's going to give you underwear. Well, I'm not going to give you underwear.
No undies today?
So this is from our mortgage advisor, Ashley Ewald. So I know you're in the real estate business. So she asked me, so I know you do a lot of walking, so you'll be able to put some ice in there and have some nice fresh water or coffee, I guess. So that's that. And then also have something to put on your head. So that way you can, if it's a nice warm day, you can put on your head.
Well, I don't want to mess up my perfect hair right now. But thank you very much. Okay, let's before we get into everything, let's say hello, Lauren, Christina, Sue, Jill, and Jan Barnes. How you guys doing? Richard Fuoco, Pat Burns again, Pat Burrows, I mean. Tracy, hello, hi Sue. Wow, there's a lot of people. We're scrolling through. So there's a lot of people that want to get some gift cards, I guess. That's probably the thing here.
Again, make sure you comment or make sure you say hello. Again, because we have to see your name. Doing the thumbs up is awesome, but we have to make sure that you are, we see your name so you can win, okay? Make sure you do that.
So we got all the good stuff out of the way, and we're going to get even to some better stuff about knowing who Don is. Hey, Nathan, what's going on? And don't be scared to ask questions, and if you're watching on the replay, ask questions later, and Don will get back to you.
Absolutely.
So Don, why are you running for council? This is Ward 6 that you're running in.
That's correct.
What said, hey, man, I really want to do this?
Okay, so basically, this has been a lifelong passion of mine to serve the community. for those who know me, when I met my girlfriend at the time, one of the things she said she liked me, and I said to her, she was a little bit younger. She was a little bit younger than myself, and I said to her, and I was living in Wellsbury at the time, and I said, Margie, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, I can't be your boyfriend because I wanted to run for council, Wellsburg at the time, and it wouldn't look good me having a much younger girlfriend. So that was the passion a long time ago. I've been involved over the years in provincial politics. I've been involved as also at the federal level in assisting people getting elected. I've gone to national conferences. I have been involved locally in local things that have needed to happen. And I mean, if you want to hear about some of the things I've done, I'm currently serving as a director with the Evangel Villa. I've been on the Chatham-Kent Police Services Board in various capacities. I have served for the Wellsburg campaign United Way many years ago, and actually was proud that we had one of the best kickoffs that they had at that time. I'm not sure what happens now, but back then it was one of the best kickoffs. I have served on the Committee of Adjustments for the Municipality of Chatham-Kent. I have done a lot of fundraising events where I've chaired committees, and so I've been involved. And again, it's a passion. I want to see for my children, your children, for those who are watching, we talk about retention of the young people. Well, if we can make, and again, Chatham is a great place, Chatham-Kent's a great place. If we can make the attraction for our young people to stay here and thrive and prosper, then we will certainly be able to retain those young people and do what they want to do here. Whatever they want to do, it's available here in Chatham-Kent.
Awesome, great intro, and a lot of people saying hello. We love Don. You got some people that really, really like you here, Don. So, hey, I guess I'm biased, but I do love Don.
That's
too.
my daughter. Hello, Lauren.
Okay, let's talk about your family. How many kids you got?
So I have 2 boys and a girl. I have twin boys, Justin and Kurt. They're 24, and something very interesting about them is they actually have 2 different birthdays. One was born at 11:52 p.m. and the other one was born at just in time for the new day, so that's why we called them Justin.
That's actually pretty awesome.
12:01 a.m. And then I have a 19-year-old daughter who's actually going to be going to school in the fall at Conestoga College to do hearing instrument specialist. So.
Awesome.
And she will be an entrepreneur. And one thing that's interesting, again, I want my children to be able to live and work in this community. And I did actually bring Lauren. I've attended some of the budget meetings for municipal council and presenting what I thought were ways to save money. And I actually brought my daughter Lauren one time, saying to those who were on the budget committee, say, look, I want my daughter to have every opportunity, as I want young people to have every opportunity here. And if we can keep our dollars in check, then that gives them the opportunity to be able to thrive and live in the community. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to school with your twin boys, Amanda Haskell, Rudy Towers. Glad you were running in the election, Don. And did you pilot a police boat? Is that true?
Actually, I did. I was part of the Marine and Park Patrol. I think I only had to give about 3 tickets, so I was okay. So yeah, I did pilot a police boat. Yes, thanks for reminding, Richard.
Hey guys, hit that share button if you have questions. That's what Don's here for. That's why I do these interviews, so that you can actually participate and get to know Don. So Don, you work at CIBC, or
I work at a bank, yes.
You work at a bank. How does working at a bank and what you do already apply to help you run for council and make decisions on council if elected?
Okay, so I've been working with the bank for a little over 22 years. I should be celebrating my 23rd year this year. And for the most of that time, I have been a leader, a manager. Mm-hmm. And within the organization, we call us a banking center leader. So I've been able to lead people to do what they are expected to do and perform the expectations that the bank is requiring them to do. With that, I've also not only have people that the staff that they deal with me, but also those who are invest their business and whatnot with CIBC. Sorry, the bank that I deal with. I'm trying not to use that. Sorry, but basically, it's an opportunity for. So I've worn both hats, both as a leader of people, but also as a manager and also as a financial advisor for a while. So and I understand budgets from the standpoint of from a personal perspective and also from a business perspective, and that's why when I have gone to those budget meetings, I have seen areas which I feel that we could save some money, and by doing that, I think that helps to when you're making decisions when it comes to budget time. I believe that has groomed me for for that opportunity when we have the opportunity to make those decisions when it comes to budget.
Awesome. Hey Rudy, hey Bianca, Dave Duquette. What's your platform, Don? And I know this is kind of like a wide-ranging kind of question when asked about your platform, because it could be 10 pages long and stuff. So what could you give Dave as what is your platform, some main points?
Okay, so one of the big things is obviously going to be around the business part of it. If we can bring in and retain the existing businesses that we do have, or bring in new businesses, it gives us an opportunity to have more people sharing in the responsibilities of keeping this municipality going. I'll give you an example. We, just beside our bank, there is and again, for those who are my friend on Facebook, they'll see I sort of mentioned, and I'm hoping to have this young lady who is an entrepreneur, so come into the community. So basically, she's from the, I think, Kitchen area, and she came into Chatham-Kent. So she looked at her own community where she lived, and then she also looked in the GTA area. Now, what she does for her business does not require her to have people walk in to buy stuff. So she manufactures a product, and she basically ships it out to Canada. So regardless of whether UPS or Purolator shows up at their door in Chatham-Kent, or it's in Toronto or Kitchener, it's the same cost. So what she was looking at, where is the best effective place for me to, on a cost-effective basis, to set up my shop. So, and again, she's told me the numbers, unless she's willing to share that with you. But when you look at the cost of what it was to open up her business, so for the acquisition of the property, plus she did an amazing job in restoring that location to its early 1900s look. And what it would have cost here versus what it would cost in Kitchener, it was half to do it here, so half the cost here. And GTA area was going to be double the cost. So Chatham-Kent represented that best opportunity. So when I talk about business retention and attractions being one of my main platform issues, there's opportunity out there. Do we have to go to China? Maybe not. But those opportunities exist right here in Toronto, in Ontario. So if we can, as an economic development department, say, and I know they're probably doing this, and I'm not all on the in, but if we can focus our attention on the GTA area where you have millions and millions of businesses, and say, look, Mr. Business owner who's sitting on let's say a $30 million piece of real estate, why don't you come to Chatham, buy for $2 million, and bring your 30 to 40 to 50 employees with you? It represents a great opportunity for Chatham-Kent, and I'm sure everyone watching will agree. We are in an amazing part of this province, an amazing part of Canada. We have fertile land. We have, the lakes that are around us. It boggles my mind why people are not coming here to live, work, and play. It just boggles my mind. But again, doing the things that make it very attractive for the business community, that's what we're looking to do. So that's one of the things. There are other things, and I'm sure I can't remember who the person was asked the question, but if you want to message me after, there's about, allowing everybody to be aware of who they want, what they want to do, and also, to retain our young people, because that's very important to grow this community.
Awesome. Okay, and we just to touch on that, we do have a lot of people that are moving to the community from the Toronto area because our real estate is more affordable to them. And if we can apply that to the business community, we can do great things.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense to me. Okay, so Dave, hopefully that helped you out there a little bit. Sue, Don, fire what your thoughts are on the idea of a twin pad sports complex.
Now, Sue, is Sue one of your walkers?
Sue's one of my walkers. We're on the same page, Sue.
You were actually listening to what I said about my last name. So for those of you who don't know, my last name is Fuoco. And you said it right. Congratulations. Fuoco. And it actually means fire in English. So I guess when you're looking on the ballot on who to choose, remember Fuoco means fire, and that would be the person to vote for. So regarding the sports complex, I know most of the people that you've had on your this little FaceTime Live
conversations with Ben.
There you go. It's there's been a lot of support, and I support too. Okay, so and the only caveat I think in it, and again, please don't I'd let you hear me through, is are the people of Chatham-Kent willing to pay for it? Okay,
right.
So I'm all for the thought of the complex. It's a great thought, and I actually responded to a newspaper that was actually asking all the municipal potential candidates of what they thought about the sports complex. And again, that's what my comment was. I'm all for it. are the people of Chatham Kent willing to pay for it? So I think we have to, and I know we've had conversations out there regarding, we can't delay it much longer because the cost continues to go up as time goes by, right? But I think if we got to do it to make sure. I don't think anyone wants it to be an economic burden on the taxpayers of Chatham Kent, but I think if we think this through really, if we're thoughtful in it, then for instance, one of my thoughts is that, okay, instead of it being a municipal owned, like say tuck shop or a restaurant inside the location, is we get one of the large franchises, just like they're doing at the hospital. They have a Subway and Tim Hortons. Let's say, look, you're going to come in there, you're going to staff, you're going to man it, and you're actually going to pay us revenues or commissions of whatever to help fund the location. And I know, and again, I believe I talked about this, I remember, and that's probably a lot of people remember, for those who are maybe 25, 35, 45 years old, we had the wheels in here. And that was a happening place. We had people across the United States coming over, spending their US dollars here in Canada. And that place on weekends was packed. And I know when I first met my wife, we would go there. A whole bunch of friends would go. There was the video arcade place that you could play. Yep. There was bowling you could do. There's bowling, the whole thing. The slides. It was only a little slide compared to what they have now. But this, having stuff like that inside that sports complex, making it more than say just a hockey arena or a hockey rink. It can be used in a multi-facility. My wife has always said, why don't we bring we go to Blue Mountain every once in a while. They have those climbing things where you can climb up the wooden climbing steps or whatever. And something like that. Maybe some entrepreneur says, hey, you know what? I will open up that type of thing inside the sports complex to make it a multi-purpose facility, not just say use in the wintertime. It's used all the way, all year round.
Awesome. Hey, if you guys remember the wheels, hit that like button 100 times and let us know you did.
And the other thing is too, Ben, I know I see Rick Nichols looks like he's watching. So I know I was at one of the council meetings where they talked about, moving forward with investigation. And we are going to have our federal and provincial counterparts coming to the table with some funding. Now, fortunately, we now do have an MPP, and Rick, I'm not putting you on the spot here, but certainly promotion is all what it's all about, right? So, if we have those people at the table and say, look, we will come with the funding, and I know Matt Monty personally, so he's now the Minister of Infrastructure. So having those relationships can certainly have a great opportunity at the table when you're talking about, hey, we need some funding here, let's come to the table. So what I was going to say was that the council has already said is that, look, unless we have the majority of funding from the federal provincial levels, then it's going to be tough for Chatham Kent. We could probably do it, but there has to be well thought out process of making sure that we are paying for it. And I actually had a friend of mine say, here's what they do in the States. They say, okay, you know what? This is going to cost $30, $40, $50 million, whatever. So we are going to add, $300 a year, taxes to each house for 7 years or whatever, and then it will be finished, and that's it. Then it's done, it's finished, it's paid for, and it's then ours to move forward.
Awesome. So, Sportsplex, yes, and you just want to make sure everything's fine-tuned.
Absolutely.
So
we don't want to get ourselves into, a huge debt. And again, coming from the industry I'm in, interest rates are going to go up. We have to make sure we're wise about, we want to spend a lot of money. We want to make sure that we want to be wise about how we're spending our money.
Awesome. Hey guys, hit that share button, hit that like button if you're liking anything. And if you have any questions, don't be scared to ask. And speaking of having Rick Nichols on watching, which is great, I've seen him tune in, a bunch of people tuned into his interview.
For sure.
How are you going to better, or do you feel, better communicate with the other levels of government, the federal and provincial levels?
Absolutely. Well, again, I'm first of all, I'm not I hope most of the people watching have realized I'm not really a shy person. So I was in Toronto at the weekend. I had relatives come down from Italy, and I was bringing back. We went to the Danforth.
I've seen some pictures of that.
Yeah. So ran across, one of the federal leaders, leader of the one party, and then obviously ran across the Premier of Ontario. So and again, I've established relationships over the last number of years where I think people know, they may not know who I am, but they know of me.
Okay.
So, I think that's a very important, especially if, it's just like, when let's say when the Prince William or Prince Harry, they can knock on the Queen's door and walk in, and there's no issue. For me to get in, probably be a little bit more difficult, right? But when they know who you are, that has a great opportunity to open dialogue. And I know they have AMO conferences that the municipal councillors would be going to. Again, I'm not a shy person. I have no problem walking up to somebody and say, hey, we need some money in Chatham-Kent. We need this in Chatham-Kent. We need this here, there. What I have no problem having those discussions.
Well, you weren't scared to walk up to our 6 a.m. group and go walking with us. So this man right here got up really early in the morning and went walking with us.
And I was going to join you this morning, but is that actually putting some signs out this morning?
So Dave said it was him, and you did answer it. So let's say hi to a couple people. Hi, Nicole. Lorna, how are you? Carol Jausma. Yosma.
That's actually my Aunt Carol.
Okay.
Carol Yosma. Hi, Aunt Carol.
You got a lot of family. Marjorie Crew. How you doing, Marjorie? Hi, Marjorie. Okay, we got Jim and Jan Barnes. Thoughts on funding cultural organizations in Chatham-Kent?
Absolutely. One of the things I'm saddened about is that we don't have the Festival of Nations anymore.
Everybody's sad about that.
Yes, exactly. And again, when we talk about cultural organizations, like I said earlier, I can say hello and thank you in about 20 to 30 languages, because what I try to embrace people that say, if we're talking about that from the culture perspective, is to embrace community and people that come into the community so that they feel welcome when they come in to see me where I work. And again, we live in a great area of culture. We think about, say the history of people who came here from the slave trades, and we have North Buxton, we have Uncle Tom's Cabin in Dresden. It's important to make sure that we have that stuff, that we don't forget our past, what's here. So I think, again, how we fund that, I guess that's going to be the fine tune. Okay, so let me tell you some things here. So like I said, I've made presentations to council where I feel there was opportunity to save some money. So for instance, I think it was about 3 years ago when they were looking at possibly, shutting down the Bothwell Arena. So there was a number of people that came to the council, the budget committee, saying, look, you can't do this to us. We didn't have time to prepare to come up with a solution. And one of the things when I made my presentation was, it was I think it was around February, and I was looking out the window, and we had very little snow accumulation. Mm-hmm. And they were budgeting the same amount for snow removal as they did prior to. And I said, why are we, going to budget the same amount? Well, we're going to have, it appears as though we're going to have a lightened, it was going to be warmer, because I think they had predicted El Nino, which means warmer temperatures, less precipitation. And I said, why don't we reduce that budget by $2 million? Again, not knowing what the future is going to be holding in the fall, but why don't we do that? And then we could give the 60,000, I think, what they needed to keep the Bothwell Arena open. Obviously, the crowd went wild, because the fact that here was a simple solution. So when it comes to cultural funding, or funding for cultural organizations, that I think there are areas in the budget we can find money, if that's an opportunity where we can save some money to say, okay, let's fund the Festival of Nations, let's fund something that Walsburg wants to do, let's fund something that Dresden wants to do, Blenheim, Ridgetown, whatever. So I think there are ways that we can find dollars in the budget to actually fund things like that, if that's important to the people.
Awesome. Hopefully that answered your question, Jim and Jan, and you knew a little bit about the weather there. That was pretty good. It was impressive stuff.
There you go.
Melissa Ann. Hi, Don. And Melissa, I had that jam that you brought me the other day, and it was amazing. Where can I get a sign?
Is that the lady who's running Ward 1? Melissa
Ward 1,
right,
yeah.
Great interview, by the way.
Yeah, and Amanda Haskell, where can I get a sign for my yard? Will you put your website or all your details? Now, you can also click your name. I tagged you in this, post or whatever, so you can probably click on his name and ask you privately, how to get him. But why don't you just tell him where you can get him right now? Just
okay.
Quickly.
So, you can private message me. My email address is donfuoco4ck@gmail.com. So if you wanted, my phone number is 226-799-9667. I do have a politician Facebook page, so I think
Awesome.
that's open to the public, and I have no problem bringing on people private, to follow my. I want you to know who I am, what I'm all about, because a lot of things I do, and I know my wife sometimes gets upset with me saying, "Why are you posting that stuff? Why are you posting that?" Well, you know what? I want to feel like family. I want to feel like part of the people that I'm part of the family. We went to Italy a few. No, wait, what is it? Yeah, it was Italy. And when I came back, so I'd post a picture and say "Buongiorno from Italia," and when I came back, people said, "I really enjoyed your Italian vacation." So anyway, so again, vacation in Italy. So I mean, I'm all about family. I'm all about let's.
Well, you
let's
certainly have a bunch of family watching here and commenting and being a part of it, so that's good for the support of the base. Hey, probably because there's a 100% chance that you did not write down his phone number, address, or email
I think I saw
address.
somebody put that down.
You'll post
I'll
it in
post that
after
later, for
as
sure.
well, and
Absolutely.
somebody else will
For sure.
as well. Hi, Jessica, Judy, how are you? Linda Dale,
Hi, everyone.
love the wheels, doing great. Don, I love the wheels. A lot of people love the wheels, so bring the wheels back. Fun stuff for the children. Hey, Don, a rec room arcade would be awesome.
Do they still have
Jay,
those these days?
Yeah.
I mean, with all the video games.
Sarah, hello. What? Let's see here. Lauren, Sarah, great to see your name on the ballot. Good luck. Matthew Tape, how you doing, Matt? I did have an opportunity to meet Don and must say I was impressed with him and his humor. So you a funny guy? Hey, Darlene, Joy. We desperately need transparency these days. Ken Bayshard and Lindsay Brink. So let's go on to some other stuff.
Hi, guys.
Population growth. Okay, now we'll go back to a little bit about touching on how you bring, sell the idea of business coming to Chatham-Kent, just as we sell the idea that you should move to Chatham-Kent because it's more affordable to live.
Yep.
What about how do we get our population up? Is being having good employers a part that would bring back some better labor force and more people to the community?
Well, as we see our communities, I guess, for lack of a better discussion, like becoming sort of a, if you want to call it, retirement community,
right?
Where a lot of people now are realizing the opportunity exists here from moving from the GT area where they're selling their homes for $1 million,
Yep.
and coming here and buying something for $300,000 and putting $700,000 in the bank. What a great concept, right? So that's one of the things that we are going to have to look at. So you can't sustain an aging population. So we do have to make sure that the young people are coming here too. So the question is, okay, so now I talked to Stuart McFadden, who's on economic development, and there are properties here available for us. So again, how we get those people here is we have to bring them on from a skilled trades perspective or a job opportunity perspective, and that's the only reason why they're going to come is because there's opportunity, right?
Right.
So I think what we need to do as a municipality, we say we have to pull our stops out for economic development. Now, I'm a big believer is you got to spend money to sometimes make money, okay? And you would know that in the business you're in, because if you don't advertise, nobody's going to know about you, right?
Right.
So you got to spend money to make it, right? So anyway, we are so in order to make sure that we have those people here, we're going to have to say to the economic developer, you got full steam ahead. We got to make sure we have enough properties and such in the community that if businesses do want to attract and come here, that we will be able to attract those business employers. But at the same time, how are we going to get them here? We have to make sure we have enough skilled tradespeople, because businesses are screaming for skilled tradespeople.
Right.
And I know what happened was my sons, when they were wondering, at the latter years of their school life, that there was actually a manufacturer out of Ridgetown that actually paid for a busload of students to go to Ridgetown to give them a tour of their plant. They fed them lunch, and they said, please get involved in skilled trades, because we need skilled trades. So that's the only way, I think, in order to grow the population and sustain it, is we're going to have those people come in and find jobs here and have enough availability of jobs for those people come in. And again, that's the only way we're going to do is by having those employers have the skilled trades. And you know what? I don't know, for those of you who remember, we used to have, I think it was called the Burgess Skilled Trade School. I'm not sure of the exact name, but that was a collaboration, I believe, with the public school system, the colleges, and that was a state-of-the-art facility. Now, unfortunately, that's no longer there, I don't believe, but that's something that we got to work. So as a municipality, as a council, I think we're going to have to get tight with the colleges, at least the local college and our educational high school educational system, both public, private, and separate, to have them say to their kids, look, we need you guys to do this, because if you don't get the skilled trades, we're not going to be able to bring businesses here,
right,
and people may not have jobs.
Awesome. And Dave Diquette liked and shared. He must have liked your answer. Okay, Pat Burrows. Okay, Don, we are great supporters of the Capitol Theatre, one of the best theatres between Windsor and Toronto. It appears to be underutilized, mostly by dance groups, movie nights, and school performances. And Pat, I can't see the rest of it because it only gives me a window, but we kind of get the idea.
Yep.
I love the Capitol Theatre. I actually am 100% with Pat here, that it is underutilized and we could use it a little bit better for the community. What's your thoughts?
And totally agree. So, I mean, I don't know, did she mention anything about music stuff? Like, I'm an accordion player.
So, just what it's used for mostly, and what I see visually is like dance groups, movie nights, which is not bad, but there's...
So I believe the municipality hires people to actually manage that facility, where they are actually to bring in outside performers, etc. Pat, if that's where you're going with your question. So I think we need to make sure that we are bringing in people, and it was interesting. My wife and daughter went to see, he's at Mr. D's, I think, or something like that, and and he's, and not that he made fun, but for the size and beauty of the Capitol Theatre, he was expecting like a sold out crowd,
right?
And there was not a lot of people there. So I think one way to get people to get involved in theater and arts and stuff like that, to go see, is, again, it's a few bucks to go. I'm sure, Pat, you'll agree. It's a few bucks to go see anything that goes on there, right? So 40 to 50 to $100 even. So that comes to, we need to make sure that we have people making enough money to be able to afford stuff like that, have enough disposable income to do stuff like that. And I think if if we have the right people booking the right venues, the right talent to come into town, if we have people being able to afford to go do stuff like that, we should not have to go anywhere outside this municipality. We sometimes you hear people say, well, there's not enough shopping, or there's not enough variety. Bunk, I say, because I was in Wambo last weekend, and there's some pretty nice shops that have shown up there. Mm-hmm. If you go to Blenheim, I used to work in Blenheim, that downtown, they got a lot of nice dress shops, so if you're looking for variety, you don't have to go to London, you don't have to go to Windsor, you can do all this stuff right here in Chatham-Kent. And yeah, you may have to drive to Wallsburg, you may have to drive to Dresden, you may have to drive to Blenheim or Ridgetown or any outlying community, but it's there for us to be able to look and shop locally. And again, if we do that, and I forget what the number is, but if you put $100 into a local business, like how the money goes around, right, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I will say, if you bring the Wiggles to Chatham-Kent,
were they already here?
They were, and I guess it was crazy trying to get tickets for people.
Well, okay, so if that was a great thing, why don't we bring it back, right? Well, more Wiggles, there you go.
Okay, Diana, parking accessibility should be addressed with the Capitol Theatre in
particular.
Absolutely,
one of the things when it was being built, one of the things I said, why are we not putting behind it like a parking garage? Like, right, if we were gonna get funding, and we're gonna fund it anyway, let's make sure, because again, if you think about it, now I know the owners that run a restaurant across the road, and you would think that it would have brought a lot of business to the downtown, and it does. But the thing is, because there's so many people parking on the street, they can only do one sitting. They can't do the second sitting for when people come out, because they can't find a place to park. So again, some of these things have to be logically thought through to make sure, if we're going to offer this, we got to make sure that it's fully thought through. So like I said, a parking garage behind that thing would alleviate a lot of the problems that they're seeing to get people to come in and actually sit and watch us.
Awesome. Judy, my husband had gone through a skill trades program years ago now, but it was such a great idea. For many, we need to bring that back.
Absolutely.
Hello, Amy. She wants to know if you will hire a general manager. Lauren, that's Lauren.
I'm not sure. I'll talk to you at home, Lauren.
Carl and Paul, you got our vote. Nathan, over the last few years, there's been a significant issue with council members choosing to abstain from voting on some very serious issues, and I can't see the rest. Let's see here. We got an angry face on that one. Over the last few years. Okay, so yeah, I can't see the rest of that, Nate. Very important issues, but I'm guessing what I could see is, are you going to vote on everything?
Well, of course I will. Like, now, obviously,
as human as you can be.
Yeah, of course. Now, one of the things in what I do for a living, I obviously have to be very aware that there could be what we call the conflicts of interest. So and again, it's got to be full disclosure. I believe the Municipal Act requires us to, if we're declaring a conflict of interest, you have to actually spell it out. You can't just say, oh, number 3 item on the agenda, we're going to deal with our conflict of interest. Well, you have to be very clear what that conflict is. So if there's ever a conflict of interest with respect to, let's say, a client that happens to be coming, want to do an adjust minor variance to their house or whatever, then obviously I have to declare a conflict of interest. But other than that, absolutely, I go to council. Well, I go to council meetings regularly now. Obviously, I'm going a little bit more, but most of it is during the budget times because, like I said, I have a vested interest in this place. So I was always wanting to make sure that I could have discussions with the councilors if there was an issue that I thought we could save money or whatnot. So
awesome. Hopefully that kind of, and it comes down to transparency, really. Okay?
Absolutely.
The parking garage is a great idea. I've been uptown trying to find parking while shows are playing, and it's hard to find one. The garage would have been very helpful for this.
Absolutely.
As well for other business during the day.
For sure, during the day, absolutely.
And having parking down there also helps your restaurants, and even helps the people that aren't there yet, but then want to say, well, they got lots of parking, I can go park there.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. For sure. You don't mind if I roll my sleeves, do you? It's a little warm in here.
Get comfy. I'll tell these people what we got to do here is hit that share button, hit that like button, and please feel free to ask questions. I know we're engaging a lot here. Just so you guys know, we got 3 $25 gift certificates. We got Scoops, Crockadoodle, and Korean Fusion. That if you say hi or anything or participate, we're going to scroll down at the end of this, and somebody's going to win one of those tickets to those cards. So don't be scared to ask some questions about anything. Let's get on to another thing I like to talk about, which is the rail line. Okay, because I want to make it the Great Ontario Marathon Trail.
Exactly.
And hopefully get the support of every person that comes on here for it. But, we have this rail line.
Absolutely.
We have it now. We can't go back in time and do anything else. What can we do right now with it? Could we do a trail like that? Is that something that you're interested in or other ideas that you have? So
Absolutely.
Share with us. You have to be up on that one.
And I am. So, and I was actually at the meeting when I think it was Councillor Solomon and Councillor Bondi had, I think it was Michael Burton who made the presentation as far as, what are we going to do with this thing now that it's, it would appear as though it's not going to move forward with respect to, China coming in, whatever. So, so absolutely. So we own it. Right? So I'm not going to be too much different on what has already been said because I've watched everybody's video, but I think it's a great idea. I mean, I know you like being outdoors and doing that stuff. So with respect to that trail, absolutely. Now, I know when I made a comment, I don't recall what the comment was, but one person said, something I said, they said, great idea. Well, how about a ATV trail? Now I'm not sure how that would coincide with the, but that's where we engage with the people. We say, look, here we have this piece of property that's 26.3 whatever
26.2 miles.
26.2 miles.
The exact measurement of a marathon.
Okay, so I've heard that. So basically, if we engage with the community, say, look, what do you guys want here? If that's that, if it's an ATV for opportunity for maybe in the wintertime for snowmobiles, maybe a snow trail, and I liked what Larry's talked about. About having a place to go. So for instance, as I'm thinking about this, I'm envisioning, having a bunch of trees to at least keep it, in certain areas, shaded, right? I envision maybe an entrepreneur coming out and saying, you know what, I'm going to set up an ice cream stop on the way. So if people want to stop for ice cream, do we do it a bike trail so people can bike back and forth? Again, when Larry was talking about an end result of saying, hey, I'm going there, and at the end result, I'm going to be able to go for dinner. I'm going to do whatever. So those are great ideas. And again, if we engage the community, there's a lot of great thinkers, a lot of forward thinkers in this community. And I think if we are able to engage with them as a council, we have a lot of opportunities to grow this municipality and make it more than what it is, because it is great to be here, and we need to really make sure the world knows that we exist.
Awesome. Hi, Linda. Amy likes the idea of the trails. So hi, Jenny.
Yeah, exactly. So the benches, I think that's what that person said.
Yeah, maybe some benches along the way.
An opportunity to sit down and relax and enjoy what's out there, right?
No coincidence in the exact length of a marathon. So a marathon trail. The Great Ontario Marathon Trail, Crystal. And Crystal's a fellow realtor, so she probably...
You should trademark that, because if it comes to fruition...
I've already bought the name. So,
oh, did you? Okay, there you go, perfect.
So I'm already on top of this.
Okay,
and I think, because I think sometimes there's not, in all honesty, nobody's going to go out there really to run the whole marathon or walk the whole marathon. But you can come back, and it's about, I've run 19 marathons myself, okay? And it's not about running the whole marathon, it's about completing the whole marathon.
Absolutely, for sure.
And you have people that do it in all different ways. They walk it, they run it, they run and they walk it. But you can come back over a weekend or another weekend and start in Wallsburg or start in Dresden and cover portions of it, eat there, live, or hang out there, spend some money there, and go about. But you got to market it in a way that people feel they have to go there to complete the Great Ontario Marathon Trail, which could be there.
So again, that's a great idea. Okay, so
I like it.
There you go.
Ben, question: the trail is fantastic for sure. What about the added cost of barred trails opening for crossways? And again, that's where it all comes down to, having to figure out all those things, and that would be Don's job if he gets on council to kind of figure out that with administration, right?
Absolutely.
So,
sure.
And that all has to be factored into the costs and that.
Absolutely,
and
for sure.
Once everybody gets the costs, everybody kind of says yes or no at the end of that, and if it's a good idea for the community or not.
And what is it, like $4 million, or they feel they can at least get out of it?
Right.
So I mean, that's a few dollars if you think about
it.
And
if you look at the amount of land actually purchased, if you get $4 million back on what you sell, you actually got a good deal on the land. So you don't really want to sell that land after, because you'll never get that opportunity back. And it also does combine Chatham, Dresden, and Wallsburg. Now, another thing that you were kind of just talking about there, I think we should talk more about, is how do we engage more of the people in the community to share their ideas with the municipality, with council, with the mayor? Because a lot of people don't feel they don't feel that they have a voice at all. And more, if we can get the ideas of our own people, right? Because a lot of the people don't feel enabled, as Melissa Ann said, or as Christian said, they don't feel that they can get a yes out of anybody. How would you go about trying to get more people to share their ideas and think bigger?
Okay, so this campaign of me running for council is not about me. It's about assisting people in assisting me, right? So when you see my sign, when they're going to start going up quite a few pretty soon, that was not just Don Fuoco saying, and I didn't hire an expensive company to say, okay, what's the best sign, what's the best look. I actually brought in I think it was around 12 people to say, okay, what are some ideas about signs? What should they look like? What should be the focus of the signs? I'm finalizing my literature to go out. And again, I brought those same people in. So, okay, what is about this? Like, what should see to promote, what I'm trying to accomplish here? And similarly, what I'm doing is actually on Saturday, I have two groups of people coming in.
Seen you say something about this. What is this?
Yeah. So what I'm having is one is actually, I've asked for 18 to 25-year-olds to engage with them in conversation. Okay, and again, I'm still looking for about 4 to 5. So if you're 18 to 25 and we are not friends on Facebook, please let me know, send me a private message. I would love to have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to the young people, okay, let's say the thought out there is there's nothing to do in Chatham. Okay, so what do we do about that? What can, and again, and I know, if you think about it, doing a presentation to council can be somewhat intimidating. Doing a presentation to the budget committee can be somewhat intimidating, because you have all these people that are probably gray-haired or gray-haired and have their maybe an
Not
MBA.
that there's anything wrong with that,
Absolutely
but I do
not.
like to cut my hair short.
For sure. They may have a finance degree. So we have to make sure that people understand that you can be engaged. So that's why and maybe hopefully if I am engaging with these groups of people that I want to bring in, then they can see that, hey, maybe it's not so intimidating to be involved and to make presentations and to actually talk to people and voice what they are thinking. So that's what I'm trying to do with what I'm trying to accomplish. So bring people in, and some of that, what's happened, Ben, which is exciting for me, is, some people are saying, because I've engaged with you, this is actually the first time I'm going to be voting. And we're not talking about 18 or 19-year-olds. These are people in their late 30s, early 40s that are saying, this is going to be the first time voting. So and again, regardless, that makes me feel good that people are now engaging in the process. And I think if we, and anyone who's running, you should be doing that. Say, engage the community. What do we need done? Give us your ideas. Let us know what you're thinking. And again, it's all about community, right? And we're here. Those who are elected to council are the voice of the community. So I think if we engage them right at the grassroots level, I think that will go well and move us forward.
Awesome, and we're engaging with about 35, 40 people here for the most part.
Perfect.
Don is so genuine and full of integrity. Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
These live Facebook videos are awesome. Change for us as a community to share our ideas.
And that's a great idea, Ben, or what the great thought was there, or what that lady just said. I'm sure didn't see who it was, but in what you're doing in engaging people in dialogue and letting people know, because I'm pretty sure this is the first time this is happening, right?
The first time I see it all in one shot,
well,
where
exactly,
other people are coming in, and
so it's great. I know others have said the same thing. Like, this is a great dialogue that we're happening with the people, and it's again, we hope those who are presenting and talking, that everything they're saying is genuine, and that's a great thing that you're doing here, that you're engaging the community. So thank you for what you're doing.
Well, it also takes you guys to come on here and get in the hot seat and actually put yourself
literally
out there.
Hot seat.
Yeah. Well, we got a bunch of lights, and the lighting.
I gotta get a drink of water.
Oh, so Judy, I have always felt very disconnected to our council. How can we connect better? And we kind of touched on that there.
Yeah.
Don is the guy to reach out to for ideas. He's open to listening and hearing. Don is genuine. Can you tell me what is considered Ward 6? So it's Chatham proper, but do you know the lines there?
Well, okay, and I know it's confusing in a couple of different areas, so I don't have them all memorized. But the big thing to think about, if you're thinking about the south part of Chatham, it's Indian Creek North. If you're thinking about, it's basically Gregory Drive, and almost to, is it the Bear Line, I think, on the other side.
Right.
So all those houses in that area, and then I've got a lot of information.
Yeah.
It's just not coming to me. But so far on, I know even part, I think, of the Given Road is not part of this. So again, I will put the link of what the geographical boundaries are. So that you can look and see where you would actually be. And I think there's like 7 or 8 voting places in Chatham. And
there's online voting.
Are we going to be talking about the way to vote later? Or
we will talk about the way to vote later.
Okay,
but the funny thing is about Indian Creek is probably the most unique spot, because the north side of Indian Creek is Ward 6, and the south side is not. So you're divided in the middle of there. Come with ideas, not just complaints. I think City Council should have a website or page where people can present ideas.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah,
or even
almost like a speaker's corner, even. Right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Hi, Roxanne. That was directed to the other guy. Okay, good luck, Don. Okay, so let's get right into voting. How we get more people to vote and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I know the municipality is doing everything in its abilities to make it as easy and convenient for people to vote. So
you're all relaxed in your chair like that.
Well, is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Means you're comfortable.
I mean, I could do like that and be engaging, because all about.
Well, I got to read the stuff on the screen.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
But like I said, the municipality is doing everything in its ability to make sure people have every opportunity to vote. So, and again, it's on my Facebook page, so you can look at the exact dates, because I don't want to mess it up. But last election cycle, they actually introduced internet voting, which means you can actually, from the comfort of your own home, vote. And it's that's how my family voted last year in the municipal election. So basically, just go online. You get you're going to get a card in the mail, and then you would basically vote, and you vote for, you have one opportunity to vote for mayor. If you're in Ward 6 opportunities for the council members, and then for the school board trustees.
Right.
So that's one way, and that's, I think, the first period. The next period is the advanced polls, where basically you will be able to go to certain locations to advance poll. So that if if most people are going to wait to the last day, because they're on October 22nd, which is that's the date I know for sure that you actually want to vote. That if you don't want to be stuck in the line, and I hope there are lines. That a lot of people want to exercise their right to vote. So again, there's that period. I think it's around 2-week period where they are able to actually go to the advanced polls, and then obviously election day, where they can put their name to the ballot and give a check to who they want to
And you want them to check off your name.
We want you to look for Don Fuoco, which means what in English? Fire.
Okay, JD Martin, can you tell me what you believe progress in Chatham-Kent looks like?
Okay, so, and I think I may have touched on that. Good question, JD. So basically, progress to me is when we are seeing everyone have an opportunity to do what they want to do in this community with respect to employment, respect to whatever, and they have the opportunity. So like I said, at the beginning, one of the things I'm looking forward to is anyone who wants a job in Chatham-Kent will be able to have a job. So that to me is what progress will look like, is that we have people moving into the community, we have people who have gone to school and have become skilled trades and have every ability. I'm going to share something for maybe the young people that are out there. So probably not a lot of you know who Jason Kenney is, but Jason is currently seeking to be the Premier of Alberta. But he at one time was the Minister of Social Development for the federal government. And he came to talk to the Chatham-Kent District Chamber of Commerce about things that are going on with the economy and stuff like that. But one of the things I remember him talking about distinctly, this is about 5 or 6 years ago, he said, my advice to those of you who are here who have children is tell your children to get a skilled trade. Don't, and again, nothing wrong with education, but, if you were to get an English degree, or if you were to get a history degree or a political science degree, your chances of you finding employment might be a little bit more challenged than if you have a skilled trade. So my advice to the young people listening is, first of all, stay in school, very important, and secondly, get a skilled trade. And sometimes people, when they think of skilled trades, they think like a millwright. And actually, when I worked at the glass factory, the glass manufacturer in Wellsburg, I mean, the millwrights were dirty because they would get right in the ovens where they were making molten glass, and they would come out filthy dirty. They have to take a shower before they go home. But today, a skilled trade is someone standing at a CAD machine, punching it, and if that's what you call it these days, punching figures to make a pre-programmed piece of steel that they can use in the parts manufacturing. So look at those opportunities, young people, because those are the jobs. So when we're talking about progress, those are the jobs to move us forward as a municipality. And there are a lot of great entrepreneurs out there that I know would love to. Again, it's cheap living here, and you know what? One thing too is I was coming back from Toronto one time, and we left at the wrong time. And I was with my wife. We were going to visit my son who went to school in Toronto. And I don't know if everyone knows where the 427 sort of merges onto the 401. Well, this was around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And there was like 8 to 12 lanes of traffic, jam-packed. I told my wife, take a picture of this. And I put on Twitter and said, look, hey, people. So I like to say I maybe brought to attention to Chatham-Kent for, look at this. Are you wanting this, or you want to come to Chatham-Kent?
Right.
Where your longest time waiting in line might be 3 minutes, right? So progress is seeing businesses come, businesses hiring people moving, young people, and using those skilled trades that are available for our community and can grow our community. Okay,
let's go back. I like Pat. It's a real shame that I can't hear you because my hubby is making popcorn.
Oh, is this like a movie, Pat? Is it sitting there watching the
All right,
popcorn?
JD Martin, do you think cultural diversity is important to growth in CK? And by the way, guys, we're going to wrap this up probably shortly here, so get your last questions in if you can, and we'll go from there. But again, hit that share button, hit that like button. Again, throw some questions out there and say hello. So do you think cultural diversity is important to growth in Chatham-Kent?
Absolutely. So we want to make sure we have the best, the brightest, those who want to come and engage in our community, right? So like I said, one of the things I think that really can put Chatham-Kent, I know I'm running for Chatham, but it's all about Chatham-Kent, is putting us on the map, is that we have to make sure that people know that we're here. So when we talked about things like the Chatham, sorry, it's skipping my mind at the moment, the Festival of Nations,
right,
where we're basically showing the community, the world, the province, what we're all about here in Chatham-Kent, is that would definitely make for a great thing to bring diversity into our community. And again, I would challenge everyone, learn another language. Like it's good to, I can sort of speak 3 languages, so it's very important to make sure that you learn the language, or at least say something. So if you see a person who appears to be from another neck of the woods, another part of the world. And like I said, I was in.
And you did this actually at the 6 a.m. group. One of my friends comes there, and she's Taiwanese.
Okay.
And you asked, you were like, how do I say that?
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's amazing how people feel when you say something in their own language. And again, I was out in Kingston Park, and I believe there was an Eastern Indian family, and when I said namaste, they go, they looked at me like, what are you doing? And I said, when I laughed, I said "Dhanyavad," which means thank you, and it just makes their day. So
awesome. And Ed and Tanya just said hello in English. So
there you go. That's awesome.
There you go. Absolutely. Growth for Chatham proper is growth for Chatham Kent overall, and vice versa. And that's true. So how are we going to, you're working, you're in Ward 6, and it's kind of funny because we did have somebody just a couple seconds ago say you would have my vote, Don, if I lived in Chatham. Sorry, I live in Wallsburg. Yeah. And the more I have people from different wards come on, the more I see people saying, I wish I'd love to vote for you. And
I was born and raised in Wallsburg, so Wallsburg is my hometown. And that's something I think that I'm going to bring to council, is that I've been blessed to be able to work in this community. So when people talk about opportunity, I've been blessed to do all my work here in Chatham-Kent. So I was born and raised in Wallsburg, like I said. I worked in Dresden for about a year and a half, 2 years. I worked in Blenheim for a couple of years, and the rest of the time has been here in Chatham. So when it when I guess it comes to if when I'm on council, I'll be a forward thinker. When I'm on council, when we have the representation from the other communities saying, hey, this is what we need here, this is what we need there, I have a sense of understanding.
Right.
And actually, I know one of the councillors is holding in Wallaceburg sort of a round table for all the municipal councillors to come in. I believe within 37 seconds I respond and say, yes, I will be there. Right. Because I think that's important. If we're going to work together, then I think it's very important that we do understand what the things are, the happenings in the whole municipality, not our just what's here in Chatham.
And what can you do from the Ward 6 area to actually bring together that kind of unity?
Well, again, there's going to be five. Again, I'm going to think, when I'm on council, there's 5 other people on Ward 6. I think, I don't know today, do they dialogue, and I guess you can ask your next guest, because I don't know for sure, but, do they dialogue when it comes to, decisioning, right? And saying, okay, and I'm sure they do, but that's what we got to make sure. We got to move this municipality forward. We talked about progress. We got to make sure we move this municipality forward. So I think it's very important that all the councillors have to have an understanding. That's what I think. And I think the Chamber of Commerce is also hosting a thing, which I'm going to as well, where they're basically bringing them throughout the municipality and say, hey, here's what's going on. Like, there's some businesses here, I had no clue what they, like, there's business, like I think there's one man, they do like $80 or $100 million of business. I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of money, just right here in Chatham-Kent. That's interesting that one little business does a lot of business.
What was really cool is hearing Melissa talk about the Wheatley area, Jeanette's Creek area, and the opportunity that many people just don't ever hear about or talk about. Exactly. And you got Rudy, you're a good guy, Don. I look forward to seeing you fulfill your goal to serve on City Council. You have my vote. Judy, you have my vote.
Thank you, Judy.
Rudy and Judy.
There you go.
Thank you. You got their votes.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Karen. How are you? Should the number of councillors in Ward 6 be reduced? Or let's just rephrase that in a little bit. Should council in general maybe be reduced? I know they're pushing for it in the Toronto area. Yep. Do you believe that 17 is too many?
Okay, so we're being straightforward and honest here. Absolutely, I think there are too many councillors, because again, if you think of again, when you look at, I was equated to business. When you look at who we're technically if you want to call it the board of directors of the organization, right? So, if for lack of a better, just to explain, so again, in most boards, and which have hundreds of millions of dollars in budgets higher than what we're spending, I believe council should be a little bit smaller. So what that number is, I don't know. I think what we need to do is make sure that we are having a representative. So for instance, Ward 6 is strictly a urban location, right? So when we talk about issues outside in rural areas, which if you think of geography represents a larger portion, we as Ward 6 councillors have to understand that, hey, there are issues that outside these geographical boundaries of Chatham that we need to be aware of. So I think if you, sort of, I don't know if you want to make sort of Chatham the pie, you might have maybe two in each ward representing Chatham. So maybe Chatham has, again, branching out, that maybe cuts through Walsall, maybe cuts through Dresden, maybe cuts through, the larger.
And we're just thinking out loud here. We're just thinking out loud.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But actually, so the answer to the question, yes, I think is too many, and and again, I'm not sure the reasons why. And again, one thing you'll find for me is I'm not going to, any of my decision making is not going to be on, is this going to get me reelected? Because I've heard that out there that some of the decisions are sometimes going to get me reelected. That's not going to happen for me. If it's only a one term and I know I've done my best, then that's all I can do. But I'm not going to be your typical politician. So, and that's why I say every time I say I got a Don Fuoco politician page, it's just for the sake of knowing it's different from my personal page. So.
Well, every time there's an election coming up, I think everybody gets excited because you see all the councillors or anybody that was on council or the mayor, all of a sudden have all the great ideas to just pop out, and then exactly. A lot of time with the municipality of Chatham, Kent, and the people that live here, we sometimes feel that those big ideas come election time never actually end up in any sort of result. Hopefully,
well, you're very observant.
and you can see that in the way people talk online or talk to you in general.
Absolutely.
So the psychology hopefully will change from kind of that negative, nothing's ever going to happen, to hey, something is happening and something could be great here.
Exactly.
So appreciate the honesty. Amy says, Sue says it will be good to see you on council, assuming that you're already got the job from her.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
Appreciate your support.
Tell
your friends.
So Don, like I said to a couple people now, it seems the more we do these interviews, that people actually get to know you more than a snippet of a newspaper or a quick radio interview. They actually kind of get to know and get a feel for who's this Don guy, and and you'll see a lot of people just like everybody. Okay, so and they're getting to know them and what they're good at or what they're most knowledgeable about and what their passion is. Where do you see yourself fitting in the puzzle? Okay. Among everybody else, what's going to be your main skill that you add that you think nobody else that you complement everything else to make it one?
Well, and again, if I say something, I want this to be demeaning to anybody else that's running, right? But I think I will be that listener. Again, I know, like I said, I don't want to say that nobody else is going to be a listener, but I think in trying to achieve what I'm hoping to accomplish while on council, is my heart is in this community. So, and again, for the times I've gone to make presentations during the budget times, is because it wasn't for my purpose, it wasn't for my gain, it was to make sure that we all in Chatham had an opportunity to be who we can be. So that's, I guess, like I said, not to be demeaning to anybody else, but that's what Don Fuoco is going to be, that part of the puzzle, is that I'm going to be that person that sort of says, maybe if there's 5 other guys, or you're having a meeting with the 4 or 5 other councillors, say, guys, okay, let's put our collective egos aside. Let's be realistic on what we need to decide here to make sure that it's not for us, it's for the community. So and it's interesting. I had, again, when I'm putting together my literature that I want to go out to people, I had asked a few people, well, not people, I just put out to those are on my Facebook, saying, hey guys, I need what you talk to me, tell me what you think. I heard words like it has integrity, he's passionate, he's a family man, he's,
speaks lots of languages.
It speaks lots of languages, yes. But it humbled me to think that that's what people, because I've never asked someone, what do you think of me, right? So and I hope it was general, which I believe it was. But and I guess when you talk about how am I going to be part of that piece of the puzzle, that's what I'm going to bring to the table. Is I'm going to be genuine. I'm going to be making sure that we are, as a community, moving forward, and that whatever the decisions of the council are, we got to make sure that it's in the best interest of the community.
Awesome. Okay, we got one more here. J.D. Martin, Chatham will be having its first annual Pride celebrations this weekend. In my opinion, an important and pivotal moment for progress in Chatham. Chatham, Kent. Will you be there supporting equality? I guess we all kind of support this idea.
For sure. Okay, so I believe it's this weekend, right? So I've already got 3 commitments that I've got to be at this weekend. So
Now there's a parade, right? There's a
I believe
parade.
there's a parade.
Okay,
Yes,
for the
yes.
first time, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I'm like I said, I think I've made it clear that I'm a big believer in people. I support people. I am there for whatever community to make sure that nobody's left behind. Everybody has equal opportunity, and that we are making sure that nobody is felt in a different situation or position than the person next to you. So absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. If you guys, Pride Parade is 9 a.m. Saturday. Thanks, Pat. So there for everybody, 9 a.m. Saturday. So we are going to give away, we're going to select this after we kind of close this out, a $25 gift certificate to Scoops, and that is ice cream.
That's ice cream.
$25 gift certificate to Crockadoodle.
Yep.
So and to do this, and before I say the third one, make sure you say hi or hello if you haven't already. And we always appreciate if you can share this with others.
Absolutely, please do.
Because the whole idea, again, is I want you guys to be able to get to know the candidates, make an informed decision on who you like, who you feel connected most with. And this kind of gives you probably the greatest opportunity that we've ever had in the municipality of getting to know the candidates. Yep. And thankfully, the candidates keep on coming on and sharing with you, all relaxed, just like Don is, their feelings in an honest and genuine way, and it's great. So the third one is Korean Fusion, okay, and I'm going to even say hi after. And what we're going to do is, after we finish this up, we're just going to scroll, and then he's going to say stop, and whoever's name is at the bottom is going to win the first one, second one, and third one will all be different people. So, again, I'm always in favor of small argument, which equates to saving money. That's Absolutely. David. Amy, humble and honest, won my vote as of today. Thanks for sharing, Don, with us, and Ben. And Carol, hello. This is a great forum. Thank you, Ben, for doing this. Sure. So again, thank you guys very much. If you are watching this on the replay, which is a good chance, you can still comment. Don will get back to you and comment, and he'll probably comment more details on some of the questions that you guys have already asked. Okay, so keep on asking, keep on engaging. Hopefully, Don, we'll have you back mid-campaign, because we got till October 22nd. For sure. And we'll always want to find out what else is going on. So again, anything else you want to say other than, hey man, get out there and vote for you?
Yeah, obviously you want to make sure you vote for me. Please, if you're interested in following me, please, I'm my Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. I'm starting that anyway. I've got an Instagram set up, but I'm also on Twitter, so please follow me. Please follow me. What's going on? If you want an election sign, please message me. If you want to be my friend on Facebook, absolutely. I do have a politician page as well, so please do. And again, tell your friends, young people. I want you to be engaged. I want you to vote. This is your, some of my daughter's friends are just turning 18. Make sure you get out and vote. If you have any questions, please ask me. We talk about transparency. I'm fully transparent. So if you have any, someone just said that. So perfect timing, Judy. But yeah, if you are going to, please be engaged and please vote. People have sacrificed their lives for us to be able to have that opportunity. So let's honor them by making sure you go out, and let's make this the best,
the greatest turnout
ever in Chatham County history.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Every comment, every like, every share, and every view is so greatly appreciated to keep this all going and keep you guys more informed. I have Brock McGregor will be coming up next. So if you want, stay tuned, and we'll have Brock, and Don will be back another time. So Don, thank you very much.
The opportunity.
And thank you guys, okay?
Thank
Talk
you,
to us later.